And that led me to ask questions like, why don't I see clinical results with fish oil? Why don't I put somebody on cod liver oil or a high quality sardine or anchovy based fish oil? It's loaded with EPA and DHA. Why don't I do that and then have them come back and say, Dr. Stillman, I have less pain. I'm feeling better, better energy. I have better, cognition and whatever. I don't see that happening. I can't tell you how many patients that's happened with. Really surprised me in my first couple of years doing intensive nutritional counseling. And the other thing I found, especially as I started to take care of people who are very health conscious and follow Instagram accounts and get their advice from them, was the number of people who are on fish oil. And I kept having people who were very health and wellness conscious coming to me with fish oil levels that were way higher than I would recommend taking, and they were only achieving them through fish oil supplementation. So I didn't see high doses of this resolving issues. In fact, some of the sickest patients with the most intransigent, difficult problems I've taken care of in the last couple of years, since I really started doing intensive nutritional counseling and medicine, have had high levels of fish oil. That really caught my attention. I will never forget and not only that, but they had high levels of fish oil and low levels of omega-6s. And this really made me pause and stop and wonder, why do I see sick people coming to me desperate for help who have low omega-6 levels when omega-6 levels are apparently really bad for you? And then I got into the literature on this because my friend Brad Weeks turned me onto a really interesting book called the PEO Solution, which has some very controversial information in it. I don't agree with everything that Peskin and Rowan, those are the two authors, say in this book, but there's some really important food for thought in it. And one thing that they have convinced me of is that the omega-6s are not bad the way that everyone is calling them. They can be corrupted, adulterated, polluted. They can be made bad for you by our industrial process. And this is why you will not find a refined seed oil in my house. You will not catch me recommending them to a patient. And I used to, because I didn't know any better, and I own that. But you get better and you learn more as you get older. And at 33, let's just say I have a few more things to learn. This whole meme that omega-6s are bad, nuts are bad, lectins are bad, phytates are the devil, you can't eat any of these things, you should only eat meat. It just falls apart in clinical practice when you start putting people on plant foods and then they start to magically resolve medical problems that nobody else has been able to figure out and they've been struggling with for like 30 years. I mean, I wish I was making this up, but I'm not. Dietary intake and biomarkers of linoleic acid. So if omega-6s are bad for you, then increasing levels of them and intake of them should make you dead, shouldn't they? Right? It stands to reason. You don't actually find that. Higher linoleic acid intake assessed by dietary surveys or biomarkers was associated with a modestly lower risk of mortality from all causes, cardiovascular disease, and cancer. These data support the potential long-term benefits of PUFA intake in lowering the risk of cardiovascular disease and premature death. How about that? Now, this is not licensed for you to go out and gorge on fast food, which is loaded with vegetable oils that are high in linoleic acid, because the linoleic acid that you get out of the fry well at your local fast food restaurant is not the same as the linoleic acid that you're getting from, say, organic, freshly, shucked almonds or walnuts or cashews or pecans or pine nuts or whatever. Why is this? Again, serum linoleic and very long chain and omega-3 PUFAs reflecting vegetable oil and fish intake inversely associated with all-cause mortality. Let's go back to the fish oil for a moment. So I think it's really interesting that fish oil took off. I prefer fish. When you look at fish, they have a lot of micronutrients that are sometimes certain fish and shellfish much higher than in their land animal counterparts. And that makes fish a really interesting potential source of nutrition in the diet. Particularly the sardines and the anchovies pack a major punch when it comes to some trace elements like magnesium, potassium, calcium, which we see associated in deficiency with cardiovascular disease. Coronary artery calcification is a story for another day. It's not a simple topic. We'll get there. But the point is this: eating nuts and seeds, eating fish, and eating particularly the nuts and seeds that are high in omega-3 PUFAs is my recipe for success. You will find every single one of those foods in my pantry, and you will find an abundance of fish in my freezer, but you will not find any fish oil in my house. If this video has been helpful to you, make sure that you check out my link tree below to find out how you can keep in touch with me best. And if you would like to become a patient at my practice, please apply to work with me at stillmanmd.com. Thank you again for watching. Have a great day.